Welcome to the Working Man Committee podcast. I am your host, Brandon T. This is the Brandon T Show. Check it out, peoples. There has been a lot going on around since the government shutdown. And, you know what I'm saying, there's been a bunch of debates, ton of point fingers, ton of jokes made, so forth. You know what I'm saying? You know, there was the biggest thing here at the first, which is the third now, that the government shut down and EBT, the SNAP program, will run out of money. So going into this month, there is no money for SNAP, even though the SNAP has a emergency fund. Yes, there is an emergency fund. I think it's like $6 billion for the emergency fund for SNAP, and there's rules and regulations on how to use that money and when to use that money. And so what's been going on is that the Trump administration says that hey, the rules say that must be some natural disasters, something where and so forth, and some mitigating circumstances that money can be used in. And others are saying, hey, that money can be used if the government shuts down or any disruption at all, and so forth. So it depends on your view or interpretation or how you care about helping people and not helping people. About should that $6 billion be used? Because there's 42 million people on Snap, so I'm pretty sure that's 6 billion. It's probably maybe more or less month, maybe 2 months of money for the Snap program. So within that, within that bit of money, bit of time, and also that negotiation period, uh, that the Republicans are trying to get the Democrats to open the government. And the government, Democrats are saying that they want the subsidies for the Obamacare to go back in place because the Obamacare is the ACA. The ACA is a healthcare exchange, and to keep the premiums low in that, so there are subsidies given by the federal government, and so those subsidies technically will run out this year, going into next year, and right now it's open enrollment time, and with it being open enrollment time and so forth, that on average the people's premiums will be $1,000 more. So if you barely afford what you have, I know you can't afford $1,000 more. So they decided we want to negotiate that first before we open up the government. Now, I would think that you can use that bit of leverage because that's one of those things of leverage. So for government shutdowns, and you can say, all right, you're not gonna open it till you give me what I want, or you give me what you want, and so forth. But I think that may be the worst way about it because now you got all these federal workers that's not getting paid. So using the federal workers to say, hey, we're not gonna pay them until you do this. And then on the flip side of that is like all the services and programs and everything that the federal government spends money on. Because like I said, the federal government spends about $1 billion a week or more on everything it spends money on. Contractors paying people, everything. So now you tied up all their money, and then quote unquote slowing down the economy because you push money all these different ways, and that goes to the economy, and the circle of the loop goes in. And so you got that on one side, and you got the ACA on the other side. Now they took a lot of this stuff out on the quote unquote the big beautiful bill, and now they're trying to put it back in. Now, now is that the best way to do it? Maybe, maybe not. But hey, that's what they're doing. And so now outside of all that, then we're having all these little debates here. And you know what? I'm gonna say this, peoples, working man. There is how the best way to control people is make them join a club. Yeah, make them join somewhere, and then within those joining somewhere, make them show hard allegiance, and to you find one or two things that they are for, and then that's why they pick a side, and then you can put out everything else you care about over there. And then because they've joined it and called allegiant to whatever, they all the rest of the stuff you can go with, and that gives them control. So what I mean by that is this: working man. So now about the food, about the SNAP program. So you have a lot of people out here saying that, and making fun of the people that get SNAP, making fun of them, and then you also got people in the media and so forth and everywhere saying, "Hey, there are 42 million people we giving something to. We shouldn't be giving nothing to nobody. They should bootstrap and so forth." Yeah. And then you got the other side saying, "Hey, man, we should help people that's in need." And then, you know what I'm saying, we got that back and forth debate whether, hey, you're lazy, or, you know what I'm saying, that you lazy, you should, you know what I'm saying, put up your bootstraps. And then on the other side of that thing, they're saying, hey, you know what I'm saying, I need a hand to get up. And so in all these debates that's been happening and so forth, it's like part of it, like I said, back to that control I was talking about. It's like when you put the control in, it's like this. You make one side look at the other side and like there and with disgust. How dare you need some help? Because I don't need help. How dare you don't need help? And so forth. And you on that way, and then you start, you know what I'm saying, putting these back and forth, and now we start debating. Now everybody debating over dollars. Yep. Like really, people are debating over dollars. People looking at their neighbor, looking at people in the community with disdain. If you know what I'm saying, if they haven't, you know what I'm saying, done what you've done. You know what I'm saying? There's been, like I said, one of the bigger things is back when student loans, forgiveness, and so forth was a thing talked about. And people were like, how dare I pay my taxpayer money help you? You know what I'm saying? Because I paid off mine, you should pay off yours, and so forth. And, you know, there was a lot of that. And within then that disdain, you know what I'm saying, it was more talking about dollars. But on the back end of all that stuff, this is a crazy thing, people. Check it out. Follow me. Follow me, working man. This is crazy. You can't give any money or subsidy to anybody in America, right? You got that. And then doubly, you can't give it, nobody that's a quote unquote illegal immigrant can't get any subsidies either. So you don't want to give anything to people that's here that need something, and you don't want to give anybody like, hey, maybe they came here and so forth. So you don't. So you fight over those dollars. I said we need to throw them out, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. But then on the flip side, the government gives away a ton of foreign aid, way more than what they would give you, way more than they would give the people around here. hmm So think about it. I know, like I said, take Social Security out of it because you know some people paying it. That's a line in your check that goes that way and so forth. But everything else, like SNAP programs, student loans, Pell Grants, and all those little things there. You know what I'm saying? People argue about all that stuff, which is that's pales into contempt that the government just now sent $20 billion to Argentina. Just like that, boom. You know, 20 billion. Nah, you know what I'm saying? The subsidy, how much does the subsidy cost? If you do the subsidies for a year for the people, because that subsidy scale is a sliding scale based off your income and based off your how far to the poverty level you are that you get what subsidy and so forth. And so the government just gave away more or less what they were giving subsidies. Ain't that wild? And then I'm gonna throw you one better. You know what I'm saying? So you know, there's a big push a month or two ago about the EV tax credit going away. What's the point of taking that away? Because you know what I'm saying, that helped directly went to the American people to buy an EV, and then also there was for the solar panels and all that stuff to be, you know what I'm saying, more carbon neutral and so forth off the grid. Your light bill, you know what I'm saying, your so forth. But you know what I'm saying, but the fact of the matter is that if you say it a certain way, people are like, oh, I don't need that. I don't have no electric car. I don't want my taxpayer dollars going over there. More dollars. And then more, you know what I'm saying, billions are going out over there. But nobody says anything about the billions that's going out. Like I said, Argentina's one thing. You know what I'm saying, how much money did the U.S. give to Ukraine and how much Israel? Billions upon billions upon billions. And then And then we do the USID and so forth, and just the money that's going all over the world in foreign aid, billions upon billions upon billions. But then you come here, then you know what I'm saying. Then the politicians try to make you feel like you know what I'm saying. You the little couple dollars that you getting, you know what I'm saying, is breaking the budget. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You have Paul. What's his name? What's that dude's name? I can't think of his name right now. The senator from Kentucky, I think it is. Not Paul Ryan, not Paul Ryan. Oh, what is that dude's name? It's gonna come to me. Daddy was in. His daddy had something going on. Let's see. Sorry. It's coming, people. So hold on, one second. Yeah, it's he was. So what he wanted to do, I'm gonna tell you what he wanted to do when I found his name. What he wanted to do was he's talking about bringing up the retirement age to 70. Yes, he wants the retirement age to be 70 because he says that you're living longer, so I want you to work longer, and so I'm not gonna let you retire to 70 or even further because you know what I'm saying medicine is good, and you need to work. So like he's like, yo, Social Security that, but also at the same time, supposed to send money overseas. So it's like this is retired. That's it. My God name it is the old interwebs is burying his name. Hold on, he's gonna come in here. I know he's a senator. What in the world? This guy's name is really buried. Rand Paul. There it is, Rand Paul. So Rand Paul wants you to work forever. Now, my thing is this, and all this stuff put in there together, and then you know what I'm saying you got to qualify it in a way that makes you know what I'm saying somebody against somebody. You know what I'm saying you must work to 70. It's like there's no you know what I'm saying? Nothing for the people, right? So you would think that, you know what I'm saying, the government would be, you know what I'm saying, at some point in time, for some reason, any reason, do something for the people. But it seems like what the government wants to do, you know what I'm saying, when the people get in office and like, you know what, government should do less. Keep the government out your life. Do less, do less. And in some ways, I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? The government does less, and you know what I'm saying, you ain't got to worry about the government intruding and so forth. But also, at some things, what the government should be doing is also helping the people that need it. And then like I said, with these parties and this control, it's trying to demonize. You know what I'm saying? One side demonize the other side, and the other side demonize and them, and so forth. And like so I said, the biggest thing working man is that nothing ever gets done when you know what I'm saying we have these warring factions and so forth. While at the same time telling you the working man that you need to figure it out yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, these people, you know, like I said, they just run in the office. You know, they get in there and tell them, so I'm gonna do this for you, and the next thing you know, they don't do nothing for you. They ain't trying to do nothing for you. And all they have is just disdain. Oh, both sides, people, both sides, Democrats and Republicans. It's really disdain. So that's why you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta no party allegiance so you won't be controlled. And then, you know what I'm saying, the issue, like, hey, if your issue is taxes, your issue is, you know what I'm saying, more, you want to be greener and so forth, or whatever that's local to you and so forth, that's the best way to approach it and so forth. Like I said, well, with this pitting people on each side of every issue, just in turn to get the campaign donations, because hey, you know what I'm saying, politicians can't live off them what I'm saying? They get their salary, but them campaign donations taste a little bit better than that salary, and so forth. If you they're not getting enough of that, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I want to add this part, work, man, to bring it all home for you. The last lecture was $1 billion, $1 billion, a little bit more than $1 billion, and where that money come from? How they get that money? Pitting you against them, and them against you, and with that, telling you they're gonna do something about it, and at the end of the day, ain't too much really changed. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? This has been the Working Man Committee podcast. I'm your host, Brand T. Like, follow, share, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.